Well, it's Monday. News and comics. This is really news over the weekend. There are a few things going on right now. Most notably is Diamond Distributors. Yes, they're still around. They still exist. I have a grim prediction for how long they will exist. So we'll get into that. Then there's also Image Comics. Are there other things out there? Yes. These are the most interesting things right now that have the most ability to impact comics as we know it. Having said that, does it matter? I don't know. We'll get to that at the end of this video. But first off, I got to say, people are getting Downcast. All of the books have shipped. All of them. Uh, Except for I have two sketch covers of the Alterna #1 versions I'm doing sketches on. And so those will be shipping soon when I'm done drawing them. And beyond that, though, everything has shipped. I have one person, though, that didn't put in a complete address. I've emailed that person. So if you haven't received an email from me, it's probably not you. I'm not sure what's going on. But other than that, campaign fulfilled feels great. I've been getting feedback like this. This is just one example, recent one. Here we go. I've read comics for more than 45 years now. I just read two graphic novels that I would consider to be among the very best I've ever read. If you haven't read these yet, you need to find yourself a copy and enjoy. And that is a copy of Downcast. This is Downcast 3, so I'm assuming he read the reprint version, which is a single graphic novel of 1 and 2 together combined. And then he read number 3, best comic book he's read, or among the best that he's read in 45 years. Wow, high praise. Here's another comment. Got it, love it. Stoker, Lazaro, and Weathers are pure gold. Am I saying this to brag? Maybe a little bit. Beyond that, though, I am very proud of it, and something that I've been working toward. It's been hard to realize, I think, for a lot of people, is that putting out one book when it's in a series, you don't get complete payoff. Once the series starts developing, then you can have payoff moments from those books that happened earlier on. And so it's nice to see that people are getting it and really enjoying it. And I'm really feeling positive about the outcome of this. Lots of really fantastic feedback, though I've yet to see a formal review of Downcast #3. But again, hearing great things. Anyway, Diamond Comics issues a shipping warning to comic book shops for this week. Is it because the owner, Steve Jeppy, is getting into some shady stuff on the internet? Probably not, but who knows? But part of it is that they've had a problem. Security breaches. What's up with their website? They're not shipping comics. They have to be worried. Now, Diamond Comic distributors have informed comic book stores that they are advised that retailers can expect shipments of products on sale November 17th throughout next week. All retailers expected to receive their shipments by Friday, November 19th. Additionally, we are working to confirm pickup dates and times for November 17th on sale products at our Diamond drop points, as well as the LTL information. Okay, so there's a delay again, and this time around, Image Comics is not the only horse in the race. They don't have a monopoly anymore. Things like this, and you have to realize, put it in perspective, companies like Diamond are actually incredibly small companies. When you look at them compared to other small businesses, and these are small businesses, it's astonishing how small they really are, and yet how much control they have over a single medium. Image Comics is on the way, or Diamond Comics is on the way out, and I would not be surprised if they didn't last through the end of the year. Now, maybe that's me being a little pessimistic. Maybe they're going to last longer, but regardless, their market share has to have taken such a steep nosedive. I'm not sure how they can recover that with making anything near what they were making before, which couldn't have been really all that much. Image Comics will not voluntarily recognize Comic Book Workers United PDX Union, still hopeful for resolution. Oh, wow. So this is the same news that we've heard about, essentially. It's just repeated many other times. And why is that? That's because the union is hoping for something else to happen to Image Comics. The ball is in Image's court, and they're not passing it anywhere. In fact, they probably stabbed that ball and popped it and threw it in a garbage disposal or something. Why is that? Again, these businesses are so small, it's hard to fathom. They said they have 10 of the 12 Image Comics employees that signed this. These are not creators, all in all, these are employees. Now, think about how small and how minuscule this company really is. And why on earth would there need to be a union when you can actually go speak to your boss face to face? They know your name. If you take a sick day unexpectedly, it's going to affect your boss and your coworkers potentially. Not only that, but these are incredibly replaceable positions. They're going to be very happy to hire anybody else. And maybe this is the right time to do it. Thinking from a union perspective, in that there's a worker shortage, and so maybe they're going to have a more difficult time filling those jobs. I tend to disagree. So here we go. Here's a quote from the interview here. 10 out of 12 eligible Image employees have signed union authorization cards. There seems to be a misconception, particularly among our most vocal critics. Do I count? Can I be one of the most vocal critics? That we are just 10 strong and that there is a little need for a union in such a small office. Image as a fundamentally Image as a publisher is not a large operation. I think sometimes we seem larger than we are, or people fundamentally misunderstand the way our company functions, because we serve an overwhelming number of independent comic creators and we put out a very large volume of quality work. Okay, so let me stop you right there. When you say we, you mean those Image creators that use Image solely as a platform, as a mechanism to publish their own work under their own terms. That's what Image Comics is. So you're not, you are greasing the wheels. You're getting paid based off of those fees that those creators pay out in order for their books to get published. And then hopefully it falls on those publishers to sell books in order to make a profit. I'm going to continue here. The 10 that are the 10 we are represents just about half of the complete employee roster at Image. Now, you said it was 10 out of 12, but apparently it's half. Is that better? No. 20 employees is minuscule. This is a tiny, tiny, tiny company. I'm going to continue. Nevertheless, despite the size of our staff, we are no less susceptible to inequality, inequitable working conditions. All workers, regardless of the size of their workforce, can benefit from unionization. And that therein lies the rub. It's not about any particular grievances that they have. They believe, ideologically speaking, that any worker anywhere will benefit from unionization. It is about ideology. It's not about specifics. It's not about improving working conditions that are unlivable. It's about the fact that they are housed in Portland, for crying out loud, and they are reaping the benefits. I'm going to continue here. All workers, regardless of the size of their workforce, can benefit from unionization. That said, it's not as if we're functioning independently. We are represented by CWA, Communications Workers of America, which is a large labor union for communication workers, hundreds of thousands of workers strong. Why on earth would you start another union then, if you're technically represented by that union? That's shocking. All right, we're going to continue on here. Why form a union? I think the outward-facing image of Image, that wasn't a pun, I promise, it's a creator-owned company that cares about its writers and artists and letterers and colors, etc. These are people not listed on the union. They're not the ones signing the union. They're not staff members. These are freelancers, right? That this is supposedly what the union is not going to cover. This is why Image Comics exists, though. Here's the response. If you think you're asking here if Image is projecting a false impression of itself onto the general public, it's a treatment of creators, and that's simply not the case. You're absolutely right to say that Image is a company that cares for its writers, artists, letterers, and colorists. We truly, truly do. This union does not include these creatives, mostly because it cannot, because they're not employees, for crying out loud. Next, though there is a dire need for representation among the creatives who we serve and who really make the industry an amazing place, the amazing place it is, American labor law, as it currently stands, simply makes that sort of representation impossible. That's because, again, really they're getting published by Image Comics. It's a deal. They're independent companies, their own independent contractors. Perhaps they're not even contractors. Image isn't paying them out. Really, I'm not sure exactly how legally they're listed. But when you think about it, Image Comics isn't hiring these people to do a job. They're going to the publisher, and the publisher accepts their work, and the agreement is that they're going to pay the publisher a set amount of money in order to publish their book. So it really is an independent business transaction between two different parties. So how could they possibly get representation as employees of Image when, if you think about it, Image is kind of employees of them, of the creators? Oh my goodness. And if you follow the breadcrumb trail here, these unionizers are really looking to get money from the creators. That is where the money comes from. That's who would be paying the bill. That's who has got to fix all of this. It's not the employees at Image, it's the creators that they're the ones keeping the lights on at the publisher. I'm going to continue here. This union is for the workers inside Image, the ones who make the whole publication machine move. When we say that we care about writers and artists and letters and colors, we say this firsthand because we are some of the employees who work most closely with them to ensure the book that we release fully realizes their creative vision and reaches the audience it needs to. We are the production artists, editors, marketers, and accountants who care about the minutia of the publishing process. They care about it, sure. They're also extremely replaceable. And if you don't like the working conditions there at Image, all of those jobs exist elsewhere. Seriously. Anywhere else you could go, you could still get those same work doing those same kinds of things. And maybe start a union when you have a larger company you're working for, if that makes sense. It doesn't, but in your point of view. So let's see. We receive a lot of creator support that amounts to, yes, look at these people who make me look so good. So yes, we love our creators and we work very hard for them because we love them. And as much as we feel that we have earned a more democratic work environment, wherein we have the power to serve our creators in a far more substantive way or capacity, we formed a union because ultimately it's better for everyone. It's not. It really isn't. Again, who's paying the bill here? What are your demands? What are your demands? So yeah, Image Comics is not officially recognizing it, but they're going to do it in a backdoor way here by saying essentially that they're already part of a union, which is true. So that does beg the question, why start a second union if technically you're already being represented by one? Like, how many unions is too many unions? At some point, surely you've got to be at enough. And here's the question. Do you think there's a need for more unions in the comic industry? Here's the answer. We believe that unions can only improve an industry or workplace. Can they? They can only... You can do no wrong. That is absolutist thinking. That 100% of the time, it's going to be better with more unions. Why wouldn't every single individual worker have a union in that case? I think that's the route to go. So if we did that, what would that be? It would almost be like a group of individuals that are making their own decisions and they control their own destiny. That would be a communist paradise. I'm sure of it. Anyway, so I'm going to stop you there, and we'll just let it lie because that's probably what Image Comics is going to do, frankly.
This is Leonard Nimoy, Mr. Spock,
my goodness.
the co-star.
I'm going to stop there.
Star
I don't know
Trek.
who's talking, but I will see
I'd
you
like to
in
know
the
what
next
this
video.
role